released in July of 2008,
Yeah.
and the game has really evolved. I mean, like all Nexon games, we basically update the game with new content every month. So you'll get like new weapons, new game modes, new maps. So when we first released the game, we had 30 weapons. Now we're way over 100.
Wow.
We've got like I believe 11 maps this time, and we're constantly going to be adding more.
Very cool. Now, speaking about the weapons and customizing the weapons, it looks like a fast game, and like what kind of weapons, if I'm a new player, what should I outfit myself to get in there and keep up with things?
Well, the great thing is like the choice is yours. So if you get a really large backpack, you can pretty much bring up to 4 primary weapons with you. SMGs are really popular with submachine guns are really popular with players who maybe a little bit new and just want to spray bullets. We actually just added a minigun, which allows you to pretty much fire 60, 70 bullets per second, which is pretty fun. But there's a slew of different weapons depending on just really your play style on the map. Yeah.
All right, Herbie, you ready? We got another chat room
All right,
question
so
here.
one of our chat room guests wants to know, how does the clan system work in the game?
So the clan system, basically you can join a number of clans. Our clan system is built into the game. So within the game, you can just go to the clan page, fill out an application to join a clan, and once you're in a clan, you participate in clan matches, which are more official type matches. So usually these are like 4 versus 4 games for specific game modes.
Very cool, very cool. I think we have time for one more.
All right,
Haley.
we have one more. Our guest wants to know, how many players are allowed in the quarantine mode?
Up to 16. So anywhere from 8 to 16 players. 2 players will randomly be chosen to be infected. So the game gets a little bit, it's hard to say. I want to say it makes it a little harder for the infected to win when there are more human players. But, you never know with these games. Like, one guy gets turned, and if they're all bunched up, a bunch of them just go out at the same time.
So, Herb, before I let you go, Twilight, vampires, all that's the hip and cool thing. Next year, we're going to see a vampire-infected level or anything like that in the mix.
I will say that in a couple months, players can look forward to something that should be very, very new, exciting, like a new game mode. So, if you're an existing combat arms player, definitely stay tuned for the next couple months.
Very cool.
Can you just give us the website one more time, like where people need to go to find the games, check out everything?
Yeah, if Nexon.net. If you're interested in combat arms, it's combatarms.nexon.net. But all of our games again are free to play, and so we encourage you to check them out.
Okay,
awesome.
very cool.
Thanks for coming on.
All right, Herb. Thanks a bunch. All right, guys at home, we're going to roll the Spyborgs trailer now, and then we're going to bring on somebody from the Spyborgs team with Capcom. So, Tim, if we can run Spyborgs next.
We've got a problem. What kind of problem? Your favorite kind.
Maybe.
Spyborgs trailer.
That was
there,
awesome.
Haley. That's the first time I think you've seen that trailer. What'd you think?
It was great. Yeah, we got to yesterday get on the game, do a little gameplay. It was really a fun game.
Yeah, we're very excited. I've been following the Spyborgs beat for about 3 or 4 months. We're friends with Capcom. A lot of the games that have been coming out, Street Fighter and all this, the history they've had in the past has been very cool. Mega Man 9 last year, I believe.
Yeah.
But we've got Grant Luke here this afternoon to talk about Spyborgs from Capcom. Grant, how you doing today? How's PAX doing for you?
Oh, it's pretty awesome. This is my first time being here. I think it's the first time Capcom's been here, and it's been a wonderful show. Really seeing the gamers and the fans come together and check out all our great games. It's really fun.
Before we start talking Spyborgs, tell me about that. You got that Street Fighter fight stick over there. What do people think when they walk by and see that?
You know what's funny is that fight stick, I'll be honest, and I first saw it and I was like, wow, it's really purple. or lavender or what it is. And,
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, nobody's gonna buy this thing, but it's been flying off the shelf. It's been doing wonderful. And I think there's a lot of people that actually have one or two. They just keep buying the different editions. We had one at Comic-Con, a special one. We had one special here, and they've just been doing really, really well. So yeah.
Yeah, I bought the Comic-Con edition when I was down there. Very cool. All right, Haley and Grant, we got to talk Spyborgs now. Now, if you saw the trailer at home there, you see it's lush, it's colorful, it looks pretty. It's coming out for the Nintendo Wii. Where do we go from here, Grant? Tell me more about the game.
So Spyborgs for the Nintendo Wii is coming out exclusively for the Wii. It's coming out September 22nd, so it's just around the corner. And what it really is it's the ultimate two-player co-op beat-em-up. And it's kind of built off of those old school like Final Fight, Captain Commando type games where you're running around pummeling things, beating things up, punching things, and just randomly just hitting things. So it's just a really, really fun pick-up-and-play game.
Very cool, very cool. Now we're doing a live broadcast
Yeah,
here,
it's all
Grant.
live.
So we get to field some questions from the chat room. Haley, do you have anything so far?
Yeah, so one of our chat room guests wants to know what console is it going to be available on? Multiple consoles, just one?
Oh yeah, sorry about. So yeah, it's exclusively for the Wii. We picked the Wii because of the social interaction. A lot of people like to play together, and this is a two-player co-op game. So it's like you and your buddy can pick up and play. We also use some motion controls, really perfect for the Wii as well. Really, really kind of organic in how you play and how the characters move. So that's why we picked the Nintendo Wii for it.
So yeah, exclusive for the Nintendo Wii, and Grant was talking about some of the motion control. Now explain this to me a little more. I saw there was something where one player does a power up, and then you sort of flick and do another thing. What is that called, and how does that sort of function?
Okay, so those are our co-op finishing moves. So basically, what you would do is you'd build up some of your super move energy, and you would target a certain enemy to attack. And once you move the Wii remote a certain way, it launches into this almost like a Matrix type of effect, where everything slows down, and each player takes turns doing certain moves with the motion controls. And that's the co-op finishing move.
Very cool, very cool. Before we get back to the chat room, Haley, we were checking out the Spyborgs comic book also. Can you tell me a little bit about how the licensing sort of branches off into the comic world?
Sure. Well, actually, you know, the Spyborgs comic book actually was created by Udon Comics for us. And it wasn't necessarily a licensed item, but it was definitely something where we felt like we had this rich story to tell of Spyborgs. And it's actually what's really cool about the comic book is it leads up to right before the game starts. So it gives you that backstory that's not in the game. It just throws you kind of like, here's what happened to Spyborgs and why you want to play and why you want to save the world. So.
All right, very cool. And Haley Bride, my lovely co-host, what do we got from the chatters at the UFrag Network?
All right, well, one of our chat room guests wants to know a little bit more information on how the motion plug on the Wii remote works with the game.
I'm sorry.
The motion activity?
Motion activity. Well, because it's a co-op like beat 'em up, there's a lot of button mashing in general. So there's a light attack and heavy attack, but the motion controls do come into place. Like if you do a jump, wiggle the Wii remote down, your character will generally do like a ground smash from the air. In the co-op finishing moves, sometimes the players, if your character you wanted to dive forward, you would move both the Wii remote and the nunchuck forward. If you wanted to do a gun attack, you push the trigger that you would to fire the gun. So there are different types of moves, and there's like a ton to discover in it. So
very cool. Do we have another question from the chat room?
We're waiting for it to field through.
Waiting for it to field through. Okay, here's a question for you, Grant. I know you have different character classes. Can you tell me each of the character classes and some of their abilities and what makes them fun and unique?
Sure. Spyborgs is actually made up of a team of 3 playable characters. One is Stinger, and he's like the heavy gunner. So he has almost like a Swiss Army knife for an arm. He has an arm that fires guns, bullets, rockets, but also has a tractor beam built into it. There is a Clandestine that's a ninja, quick strike assassin, fights with a sword, really agile and quick. And there's Bouncer, a mechanized robot, and he basically wants to smash everything with his hands like a crazy angry gorilla. And so those are the 3 different playable classes. You always play with 2 players, 2 characters at one time. You can switch between each level.
Very cool. Sounds pretty exciting. What do you have for me, Haley?
Yeah, how many people can play at one time?
Okay. So it is a 2-player co-op game. So that's a really great thing. You can play 1 player and you can switch between the characters on the fly, but really it really shines when you have a friend come down that sits down with you and just kind of beat everything up. So.
Haley, anything else from the chat room? I got a few questions in my head backing up now.
All right, well, let's hear one from your head then.
Okay, so when I was playing the game a couple months ago, I noticed there was sort of this mysterious element. I don't know quite what it's called, but you sort of like move your hand over things on the screen and you get like some things popping up. What is this called? How does it work in the game?
That's a really cool question. So we have a unique feature. It's actually very unique in the Nintendo Wii world and any video game world. It's called